Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
That's right, Splash. Oh God, yo ass better call somebody. It's the best. It's literally the best intro. Shout out Road Dog. We got NBA winners to talk though here on the Run Pure Sports Hardwood Show, talking the association on DraftKings today. Nice 7-game slate over there with my guy DC here. DC, talk a little football before the show. We're talking about our best ball teams, but we still have some NBA to talk about here. It's a nice slate on DraftKings. We do get the games all throughout the day, which is kind of unusual. We've been getting more of these though recently, I guess, for whatever reason. But yeah, we're getting the full slate of games.
We do, yeah. 7-game NBA slate, and sadly, football season winding down. Obviously, the college football championship last night, fun game, and then just 3 more football games left on the year. So kind of always a bittersweet time of year, but NBA takes center stage, I guess, right now. And yeah, 7 games to talk about, fun slate as usual. And
don't be putting down UFC. UFC's on the comeback train this week, so don't be putting down UFC. It's only once a week, unfortunately, but still.
It makes a big difference Saturday night to have the UFC cards. And I assume we have one like pretty much every week for the next.
I think we get 2 main cards in a row, two
2 pay-per-views.
Pay-per-view type cards.
Not pay-per-views anymore.
It's not pay-per-view anymore, and I just bought my Paramount subscription. I just bought it, my Paramount subscription. I'm loaded up for the year. Just bought it. Was excited to get rid of ESPN and buy the old Paramount here, and I'm ready to roll for UFC. I can't wait.
I already had one, so no further expense here, and won't have to hunt around for streaming UFC pay-per-views anymore, which will be nice.
I mean, it's also honestly, spending $75-$80 is a lot of money. Now you spend $13.99 a month.
Yeah.
And you get all the pay-per-views. If you were buying the pay-per-views, you're gonna save money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice. And those can be unreliable too, right? They always go down at the middle of the fight, or you miss the big
I felt
fight.
like ESPN. So I'm hoping Paramount's good. I've never actually had Paramount, so hopefully the sub is good and it doesn't really go down or glitch a ton or whatever. Hopefully it's not like that. I know ESPN Plus though, it would be shaky at times.
Yeah.
It would be shaky.
Paramount's going to come through for us. Good, reliable streams, I hope, for UFC.
I hope so. They have some good shows too. I was kind of this morning. I was kind of looking at it, and I was like, "There's some decent shows on there."
All
too.
right, yeah, fire up a new show with my Paramount.
Fire up a new. I mean, Landman's on there, and I love Landman. So
I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, you got to watch Landman. It's. I've only watched the first season, so I can't comment on the second season. But the first season, hilarious, great.
Billy Bob in it.
Yes.
I love Billy Bob. I'll check it out.
He's amazing. He's amazing in it. The character who plays his daughter is amazing. They're just the hilarious chemistry between those two. It's a great show. If you've never seen Landman, you should definitely give it a watch.
Ever seen Bad Santa?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies.
That's one of the best movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I love that.
I rewatch it every Christmas season. Bad Santa.
Yeah, that's a real.
Don't watch a lot of Christmas movies over here, but Bad Santa makes the cut.
Bad Santa and Die Hard.
Yep.
And anyone who tells you Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, they're lying. Okay, it's a Christmas movie. Okay,
I'm with you.
Yeah, 100%. How would you? I don't even know what you guys are talking about in there, but let's dive in here, DC. We got a good amount of games to talk through here. Don't forget to on DraftKings, they are back with the King of the Court tonight, every Tuesday. I love that they keep this thing going every Tuesday. Maybe with NFL, almost done with DC. Maybe we get it another day randomly throughout the year eventually. But
maybe a Tuesday, Friday King of the Court. If you're watching DraftKings, that'd be nice. We would appreciate that.
yeah, love the King of the Court. I like that they did it for the playoffs for football with the King of the End Zone. Hopefully they keep that going for the playoffs and stuff. But I agree, DC's right. Tuesday, Friday, those are, or Tuesday, Thursday, if you want to keep like the Tuesday, Thursday. Normally there's shorter slates, whatever you want. But 2 days a week, prime. 2 days a week would be awesome for the King of the Court here. So definitely like that. Anyone who calls Die Hard a Christmas movie is just looking for a fight. No, James, that's not true. We're not looking for a fight. It's a Christmas movie. It was made during Christmas time. Christmas movie. End of story. That's how I view it, as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I'm never looking for a fight, James. Get out of here.
Yeah, DC, he's a lover, not a fighter. You can tell by his Twitter. If you've ever been to his Twitter, he never fights anyone. He just agrees with everything people say and he moves on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, let's dive in here. DC, you got the Saber up. We'll go by the Saber order of games here. Phoenix and Philadelphia here. Philadelphia on a back-to-back. So is Phoenix here. Mark Williams looks like he's going to most likely rest, but I think he's still listed as questionable. So we'll see with him. Played a decent amount last night. I think like 29 minutes, which for Mark Williams, that's a lot, DC. He honestly doesn't get up into that range very often here. You don't see him get, he had 31, what was it, like a week ago against Miami. But outside of that, like 29, 31, that's like the most minutes he's played in a while here. Normally he's in that like 22, 25, maybe he gets to 27. And for him with his knee issues, I totally can see them just resting him here. It definitely feels like a rest spot for old Mark Williams. And no Joel Embiid on the other side. So they're resting Embiid. It's kind of a perfect time to maybe rest your big and Mark Williams.
Yeah, would make a lot of sense after the big minutes. Would also be the third and four nights for the Phoenix Suns. So back-to-back, third and four nights, big minutes. Would make sense to give him a rest. And it's like, he's not hurt, right? So if they lift some questionable with the rest, it would seem like they would kind of know, right? I mean, what's going to change? And
I mean, this was a planned rest.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Exactly.
That's why they played him 29 minutes.
So it does seem like he'll sit. I agree with you. Assuming he does, I mean, Oso Agudero, 3.3K. I don't really see myself getting away from that. He's not always the most productive, but I think he's a decent player. And I do think, he's looking at 25 plus minutes probably if Williams sits. Starting center, 3.3K, probably just taking the quote unquote free square there myself with Agudero. The rest of the Suns, we'll see. Devin Booker, I see Basketball Monster's got him questionable. DraftKings doesn't. Have you seen he's playing or no? Are you seeing him questionable too, JSU? Or is
I don't see it, but I could understand why they might presume he'd be a little more on the questionable side, him coming back from an injury, playing last night.
Yeah.
Maybe they just kind of assumed he'd be more on the questionable side of maybe possible, but I don't see it right now. I think he plays, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like that too. So, yeah, I think Booker's interesting. I've kind of talked about Booker's lack of upside a lot recently on the show, and it just continues to be true. I mean, he hasn't put up 50. He's been close, a couple 49. So we're nitpicking a little bit here, but he hasn't put up 50 plus fantasy points in a month. You got to go back to December 20th when Booker put up 50 at 8,700 on this slate. I think you need, you probably need 50 or close to it. So I think he's fine. I think, Gillespie, all those guys are okay. But obviously Agudero, the guy that I'm looking at most closely with Phoenix. And then on the Philadelphia side with no Embiid, he's been playing a lot recently. So we've seen a drop in Drummond's price accordingly, right? Down to, I guess he's 4,900. So he's up a little bit from where he was, but that's a nice price for Drummond, especially against, if it's Oso out there, got to imagine he can eat Oso on the boards, right? He's just way bigger. Oso kind of a skinny, he's not a bad rebounder, but I would like Drummond's matchup quite a bit there. And then I think the other guy is Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I just love him when Embiid's off the court. He takes on a much bigger role. And then we'll see on Paul George, right, who's questionable for this game. If he's out, further bump to Maxey. And then at that point, I think you could look at Edgecombe and Grimes a little bit. But Maxey, Drummond, and Agudero, the three guys I'm looking at most closely.
Yeah, a couple things here. First of all, shout out to Hobbs, our guy in the Discord here. 15K richer from last night.
I missed that. Congratulations, Hobbs. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Golden State showdown game against Miami. Had a sick lineup there in the showdown streets that won him a nice 15K. So congrats to him. Great team. I was looking at it in the Discord about like 20 minutes ago. I saw someone, or he posted it, and yeah, sick team. Steph Curry captain with Jimmy Butler, Norman Powell, Jaquez, Podziemski, and Post.
He won it with the Butler injury.
Yeah, Butler got him 29, but Post at 13% going for 35 kind of, and Jaquez at 25%. He had some nice, for showdown, that's low owned, honestly.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That got it done for him. So congrats to him. That's a sick team for sure. Yes, shout out to you. And then Tavia says, why didn't players in the 90s rest like this? LOL. I think you know the answer to that. I mean, actually, there's a few different reasons. One, his name is LeBron James. He's the one main reason. But actually, yeah, players are like conditioned now to just rest. And I think it's created a monster of its own where now players are almost conditioned to have these rest days in between. So it's a little of that as well. It's also a little bit of, I think, the organizations, they put so much money behind these players, their investments and stuff. And I think sometimes the organization and their training staff is pushing guys to sit. So it's not always the players, in my opinion. I don't think it's always the players that say, oh, I'm sitting tonight. Now, in some cases, I definitely think there's some players that just say, hey, I'm sore. I'm taking a rest. And they're like, fine. But I think in a lot of cases, the training staff will be like, you should sit tonight. You should give your body a rest. You're a little sore and stuff. Whereas the player might be like, no, I want to play. I want to push it. And they say no. So I think there's a little bit. I do think they're conditioned to be a little softer now. I think it is a softer generation, like Team Money was saying in there. 100% agree with that as well. But I think it's more like players are now conditioned. Just like now these young guys come in and they don't want to be in the dunk contest, almost like conditioned that way. Who started that, by the way? Another guy named LeBron James. You just point to things and it's like, yeah, it might be his fault, but then like they start to become conditioned to this is the way it is. And that's the other problem. It's like, we need someone to come in here, DC, and just be like, fuck all that. I'm playing. I'm doing the dunk contest. I'm going hard in the All-Star game. I don't care if you guys go 60%. I'm going 100. Like, we need like a young guy or two to come in and just say, no, fuck that. I'm not doing what you guys want me to do. I'm just going to do what I want to do. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. The only other sport, at least that I follow, where stars sit when they're healthy is soccer, which happens mostly with teams that have like Champions League. So they'll play their league game on Saturday, and then they'll play like a Tuesday or Wednesday Champions League game. And the soccer was ahead of this, where they like track, all the, like, how much are you moving? Just like, on a per second basis, your speed. And they can tell when a player, is more injury prone because some of those metrics, right, start going to, like if you go super hard in a workout, like you need a day or two or more perhaps to recover. And so the NBA does that now too. And so they can identify when the players are at risk, and it's just not worth it for one. It's frustrating.
Yeah, this is another thing too. Like 3 and 4 nights on the road is awful. I totally agree with you. The scheduling could be better, but like, I mean, I don't know. Back in the 90s, they were still on the road and playing probably 3 or 4 nights or stuff like that at times. So
I think they need to reduce the number of games in the schedule.
But they don't want to do that. DC,
no, I know. I'm not saying it's not saying it's going to happen.
Yes,
but if the money wasn't a thing, that would be the clear thing to do. Reduce it to 60 games or whatever.
I bring it back to my GOAT, and I know people don't agree with that. People probably hate Allen Iverson, but you ever listen to him talk about or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, why they play all the time, even when they're sore? They play because they know that people spend their hard-earned money to go and see them play, no matter where they are, whether they're at home, whether they're going to Charlotte on the road or wherever. They know that their name brings people to buy tickets to go see them, even when they're on the road. So they wanted to play as much as possible, even when they were sore and stuff. That's not the case anymore. Players don't see it that way. They don't care. They don't care about fans in other arenas and stuff like that. Even when those fans do buy tickets for themselves, they don't care about that stuff anymore. They don't look at it that way.
Yeah, the culture, just the whole culture, competitiveness thing, the draft lottery, the tanking, right? I mean, there's 2 or 3 teams on this slate that are tanking already. It's
2 or 3, and there's like 7 already, DC, and we're gonna get more as the season goes on.
It's a disaster, It just is. It needs to be. They got to find a solution, but it is what it is for now. Honestly, all the players sitting out, it makes it's resting games, stuff like that. It makes NBA DFS a lot more fun. It would be really hard if every player played every game, I think, right? Because it'd just never be, I don't know, hard in a different way. Might actually
they were conditioned different, Hobbs. That's what I'm trying to say, that Dennis Rodman would leave a game, go party in Vegas, fly back the next night, and play somehow.
But JSU, don't you? I think for sure, no question about it, the NBA players of today are in better condition than they have been at any time in NBA history, because of course all the science is better. I mean,
just look at the way players are built now compared to the way, LeBron. I shit on LeBron James, but LeBron James is a freak of nature. There were no people built like LeBron James, like we've ever.
So
seen.
Then, in theory, they should have to sit out less games, which goes back to my point that I think there's too many games.
In theory, in theory. But again, like I said, I don't think they look at anything the way the players of the old looked at everything. Whereas like Dennis Rodman, like they said, no matter what he was doing, he'd be back for 40 minutes that night and he'd be playing, whether he was hungover, flew to Vegas, whatever he was doing. He's like, no, I'll still be there. I'll be there for game. And they knew that, you know what I mean? Now it's not like that. It's just not like that. But what are you going to do? It's the way it is. It's unfortunate it's really unfortunate for the fans. The fans get the whole thing. The fans get screwed out of all of it because you spend $40, $80, $100, $200 on a ticket to go see your favorite player, maybe come to town, and maybe he only comes to town once or twice a year. And that dude's like, sorry, I'm resting. That sucks. That sucks. You know what I mean?
We won't get into politics on the show, but that's just capitalism in general. The power consolidates, the common man gets screwed. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. But back to the Philly game here. I do think Philly is the interesting side out of both these sides here. One thing we didn't even touch on for the Phoenix side is that Jalen Green is going to be back in some capacity. Now, he hasn't played in months, right? So I assume he's going to be on a pretty strict type of minutes limit here. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if they've said anything yet. I haven't seen anything yet exactly on it, but he had a hamstring injury. He's been out since November, I think like early November. So I would expect them to be pretty careful with him. But I do think him being there even if he only plays like 18 minutes tonight, DC, or 20 minutes or whatever it is, it does still slightly affect the other guys like Dylan Brooks,
especially
Grayson Allen.
Especially because they already had this problem. They got too many of the same type of players. I talked about the thing killing Booker's upside is Gillespie, mostly Gillespie, but to some extent Allen, right? Two guys who are their primary role is to shoot and score.
Yeah.
So that takes away from Booker. And now you add in another one, right? Jalen Green. I mean, he's even more so that way, I would argue, than those two guys. So,
and I doubt he plays more than like 18 minutes tonight.
but
so
still, yeah.
But still, that's 18 minutes on the floor, and maybe it pulls a few minutes from Grayson Allen, right? Maybe it pulls a few minutes from Gillespie, even if it's just a couple, or Goodwin, or some of these other guys where it's like, okay, and you're pulling a few more shots from them too. That does hurt. So I think it hurts a lot of the team here. I would like Grayson Allen a little more if he was to be out, but Mark Williams most likely sitting would be the opening for me, because like you said, you can just play Osu if you want at 3,300 here. But other than that, I don't really love the Phoenix side. I think the Philly side is where I want to stick with Embiid out.
Yep.
I mean, Drummond, to me, he's going to be a lock if he's starting. I'm just pushing the button on him at 4,900, because like you said, I don't think they have anybody. I mean, who do they got behind Osu? They got Nick Richards and the young kid they drafted from was it Duke or whatever. So I don't think they're going to have anyone that's going to be able to deal with him on the boards, and he makes a lot of sense. Even Adem Bona, if they went with Bona, who's been kind of playing at times over him with Embiid there, I would like him a little bit. So I'm going to like the big for Philly for sure. I think if PG is out, it makes Kelly Oubre a really good play. 33 fantasy points last night. I really liked him last night. 35 minutes for Kelly Oubre. Now no Joel Embiid. Kelly Oubre, to me, he's kind of already a little bit in play, DC, but I would prefer PG to be out with him getting a little bump in the salary, 5,200. He was 49 last night. I would definitely like the PG being out, but I'll like him. I'll like him for sure. I think I like him a little over Quentin Grimes.
Yeah,
if I had to pick between those, I think I would go Kelly Oubre. And if PG's in, I would still go Edgecombe over PG. So that's the way I look at Philly if I had to rank them. And then, of course, people are going to like Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to like Tyrese Maxey again. 63 last night. Dude's just a beast. No Embiid now. I think he's another, great play here. So don't sleep on Barlow too. Yeah, I don't mind Barlow. I don't mind him. His minutes are very frustrating at times. Last night, you watch his first run. He was doing really well. And then they kind of went away from him a little bit at times. He doesn't take a lot of shots either, which sucks for Danny Barlow. He ends with 23 fantasy points, and it's like, man, I feel like he should have been better. Like, I feel like he should have played more, and he should have been better. But that's kind of like what you get from Dominic Barlow. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at him, but Bona, like you said, has been playing more minutes, playing decent. I think the center minutes will go to Drummond and Bona. I don't know. I was thinking maybe Barlow could sneak in there for some minutes at the 5, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. So, yeah, Barlow I think is okay at 4,400. I'm with you on Oubre too. I think Phoenix will stick Dylan Brooks on Tyrese Maxey is my guess.
I would assume so.
Yeah, which means, Edgecombe and Oubre are going to get Booker, Gillespie, Grayson Allen. That's a good spot for the Philadelphia Wings, especially if Paul George misses. So, yeah, I like the Oubre call quite a bit.
Yeah. Edgecombe and Oubre definitely would have nice matchups if they do that, and it would make sense, honestly. Dylan Brooks getting thrown on him.
I think they almost have to. I just don't. I mean, I think Maxey just torches the guard.
Maxey, though, he's just so fast. Like he's just so fast. And
I don't
Dylan Brooks
love the
all
matchup.
strength.
I don't love the matchup for Brooks either defensively, but I think he's the best chance they have. Which
Yeah, I mean, put a bigger body on him, try and wear him down a little bit, be physical with him.
exactly
For sure. I totally understand. Like you said, like who else are they going to throw on him? Like, Gillespie, who are they throwing? They're not throwing Jalen Green. Jalen Green doesn't want to guard him when he's in there. Devin Booker, like none of these guys want.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. But yeah, I do like Maxey quite a bit. But there are the point guard position's kind of loaded today, so I don't know for sure if I'll end up on Maxey.
Point guard is loaded. There's a lot of guys in good matchups too, so we'll see. You're gonna have to make some tough choices. I do agree though. Maxey is definitely a possible king of the court option tonight for sure. Probably the best in that game. If we just had to pick one from that game, I definitely would go to the Maxey side. All right, let's go to another spot where there's a guard in play here. The Clippers and the Chicago Bulls here, DC. No Kawhi Leonard again. Derek Jones still out. Bogdanovich still out. James Harden, 9,900 against the Chicago Bulls here. It's a good spot. Harden coming off a 60 burger against Washington. 36 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists in 37 minutes. Only took 17 shots to DC to get his 37 points. 20 free throw attempts in that game, though. Like that is patented James Harden right there, just getting to the line that much. Honestly, that's a lot more than we've been used to seeing this year. He hasn't been getting the line that type of way this year, but 20 free throw attempts, that's old James Harden for sure here. 9,900 on DraftKings. What are you doing with Harden and the rest of these Clippers?
It's impossible for me not to like Harden here. I do, we mentioned I do like Maxey, but I like Harden better. We'll talk about Jamal Murray, who's in a good spot as well, I think. But Harden's my favorite of the bunch. If you're spending up at point guard, I mean, we've seen this for like 15 years because it always seems like Harden has a co-star or two alongside him. And when those players miss, like Kawhi will tonight, it's the James Harden show. I mean, look at who else they have. It's Chris Dunn.
What, you don't like John Collins?
Collins has done nothing. I mean, there's just Batum plays minutes. Zubac's a good player, but like not like a super high usage guy by any means. I mean, he's under 10 field goal attempts in most games. So it's just got to be Harden. And I don't think this matchup slows him down whatsoever against Chicago, whoever they throw on him. I'm not really worried about James Harden. So he is my favorite spend on this slate overall, favorite play in this game. Other Clippers, I played Jordan Miller yesterday. He's been really good. He's got a ton of stocks, but he looks good out there getting minutes. Last 6 games, 27, 28, 27, 34, 46, and then 28 yesterday. Seems like they trust him. He's going to come off the bench again, most likely, but I do like him at 5,400. Feels a little point chasey with all the blocks and steals he's been getting lately, but I like his game. I think he's in play at 5,400. Harden, obviously, and then I think Zubac is the other guy to consider. But it's Harden who I think has the matchup, and everything else to go along with it here. So Harden, especially if you get the value on Iguodaro, I think is a really, really strong spend. And then on the Chicago side, Giddey questionable, right? Looks like he might come back in this game. It's been out, three full weeks now. So probably limited minutes. And he did, I'm seeing on the DraftKings player news here, the best source of information possible, did play in the G League. So he should be good to go, right? If he went to the G League, played some minutes, I would imagine Giddey good to go, which kind of, especially in a lower total game, kind of takes all the steam, I think, out of Chicago. I've been on the Vucevic train a lot recently. He's been good, but Giddey back will change that. So we'll see on Giddey. I do assume he plays, maybe 25, 30 minutes, but I think that is enough to, really take all the steam out of Chicago on this particular 7-game slate. So we got plenty to choose from. So mostly the Clippers side I'm looking at here, particularly Harden.
Yeah, Jordan Miller is one of those interesting plays. Last 3 games, last 2 games, he's had the best plus minus of anyone on the floor. And in the third game, only Nick Batum had a better plus minus than him off
I
the
don't know if
bench.
you've seen him play. He looks good out there, man.
I have watched. I actually watched 2 of those 3 games, and he's looked awesome in those 2 or 3 games. He looks legit. He's one of those guys. He comes off the bench, but they prefer him out there. Like he's gonna play more than even some of the guys starting, like Sanders who starts and stuff like that. But they still prefer Miller.
I mean, look who he's competing with minutes with Sanders and Batum mostly. So
yeah, I mean, it's because they're so kind of weak at that wing.
yeah, they're missing Kawhi, Beal, and Bogdanovich. Are all I know Beal's been out all season, but they're just very, very thin on the wing. I think Miller gets his 30 plus
minutes. All of a sudden starting to play some minutes. That's another guy who I guess he's trying to get some wing minutes as well. These are their wings. You know what I mean? They got Sanders, they got Cam Christie, they got Nick Batum, who literally just stands in the corner. I mean, that's what he does. He doesn't
literally
do much
that's
else.
literally all he does.
Yeah, they need some youth, man. They need some youth, like no Kawhi.
I think they need Jordan Miller. Like they just don't have the other players can't do what he does. So he's going to see his minutes. As we talk about,
he's taking double-digit shots. It's not like he's out there and he's just standing at the 3-point line. He's taking shots, and they're not just threes. You know what I mean? So that's another good sign to me. Yeah, he's getting a lot of stocks, which is a little worrisome because you feel like, okay, 2 of the last 3 games, he's had 4 steals. Like, is that going to stick? Probably not 4. But at the same time, I do like that the shot attempts are at least in the double digits. I do like that the minutes are pretty solid here. And he's clearly been their best guy. I mean, honestly, I know Harden had besides Harden, he's clearly been their best guy when Kawhi Leonard's out. He's the next guy out there. So, yeah, I mean, I like Jordan Miller still in this matchup. I could see why, though, you'd be a little apprehensive about chasing him, but I just don't see them as having much. To me, they have 3 plays that I think you can honestly look to. You can play James Harden. You can play Zubac because he still has upside regardless. And you can play Jordan Miller. I think those are the 3 plays on the Clippers. And I don't think I want to overthink them. If I'm going to get cute, I'm going to get cute on a different team. I'm not going to get cute playing Sanders or Batum or John. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying $6K for John Collins and stuff like that. So
the only other player I was looking at was Chris Dunn, but just the shot volume is not there.
Yeah, he only shoots when he absolutely has to.
It's 4 to 6 shots per game, and he's good at everything else. That's why he's a starter in the NBA still. But it's really hard to reach a ceiling on 5 or 6.
Well, let's be honest. He's out there to play defense.
Yeah. And he falls into shots when he has to. But
right.
I'm with you on the Clippers. Harden,
and he falls in the shots because teams are daring him to shoot. You know what I mean? They're collapsing on Harden or doubling Kawhi or whatever, trying to get the ball out of their hands. They don't want Zubac to get a layup, so they're when he's down there with the ball, they're trying to get 2 on him. They want him to kick it out to a guy like Chris Dunn and force them to beat him. You know what I mean? That's kind of a team's game plan.
Yeah, his shots are all either wide open threes or end of shot clock stuff where he's kind of forced to get it up. So, yeah, I think I prefer Miller to Dunn. Not exactly the same price, but close enough if you're choosing between the 2. I do think Dunn's going to play big minutes in this one, though, against Chicago, who has – I mean, they're playing 3 or 4 guards, right, a lot of the time. So it would make sense for Dunn to get minutes ceiling. I just don't know if the overall fantasy ceiling is quite there.
Yeah, I don't really like the Bulls in this spot. The Clippers are going to try and slow it down. And also Josh Giddey being questionable, I think affects everyone a little bit. In general, I think it affects Vooch, Kobe White.
Takes away from everybody. I mean, it
hurts everyone. Io's been pretty good. if Giddey's out, I could see playing, I could see playing one of these guards, like an Io, a Trey Jones, a Kobe White. I could see picking one of them, but I would need to see Giddey out. And even then, I'm not like super enthused about playing the Bulls. So I kind of look at it like the Philly game. It's like I kind of lean more the Philly side, and this side I would kind of lean the Clipper side. I don't really like the Chicago side as much.
Great. Yep. With you 100%.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Don Yeezy? What's going on, my man? Good to see you in here, guys. Don't forget, smash the like button on this video. Let's move to San Antonio and Houston here. Next game up, we got the Spurs and the Rockets. Good little matchup here. Wemby, DC, he's starting to tick up a little bit with the minutes. We finally saw him get to that 30-minute mark 2 games ago, which was nice to see against, what was it, Minnesota. He played 31 minutes. He had 39 points, 9 rebounds, took 23 shots too, which was good to see here. Good volume right there. And then he comes back with another 59 in 26 minutes against Utah at home. Also shooting really good from the 3 the last 3 games, 5 for 6, 4 for 9, 7 of 12. I don't know if that's going to stick like that, DC, but if that sticks, Wemby's probably in for another good game, but it's not like the best spot. I mean, what are you doing with Wemby here? Because the ceiling is obviously unlimited with a guy like him.
Yeah, it does seem like the minutes thing, they're still going to limit him, right? I think he's going to play around 30 minutes most games, but I do think he's there now where the expectation should be, I'd say 28 to 30 minutes for Wembanyama. The matchup here on paper is brutal, but we've talked about he's one of the players I don't really care that much about the matchup for with Wembanyama, just because he's such a unique player that he can do his things anyway, right? Like you can't stop him from shooting a 3. He's like 7'5", so the matchup I think matters less for him. It's also a big game. I mean, Houston's a really good team. San Antonio and Houston battling for the top of the playoff standings. So this would, it would make sense for Wembanyama to get the upper, and not that he's going to play 35 minutes, but it would make sense for him to get the upper range of his minutes projection here. So I like Wemby.
By the way, DC, sidetrack, but if you had to pick one of these 2 teams to give the OKC Thunder or Denver like the best shot, who are you taking? Is it the Spurs or the Rockets?
By a mile. I think.
Yeah, me too.
I really like this. Houston just, man.
I think Houston's one of those teams. They're gonna be there, but they're ultimately not gonna do it. Like I think they're one of those teams. They're gonna get there. They're gonna have a good record. They're gonna be up there, but they're ultimately gonna lose. Where I agree with you. I think the Spurs could ultimately win.
Yes, definitely.
The difference.
I just don't think Houston's got enough reliable shooting, in particular, especially when you're relying on 40-year-old Kevin Durant, who, I mean, we don't play him often in DFS because the ceiling seems limited, but he's still putting up 26 a game for this team. One of the best scorers in NBA history.
It's a great point. Think of how much they relied on Fred VanVleet shooting, whether he was hot or cold last year in the playoffs. Think about it, DC. Remember, he had that stretch of really bad shooting in the playoffs, and then he got hot for some of those games and he was on fire. But think of how much they relied on his shot creation and shot making in some of those playoff games.
If you take Durant out of the equation, which, I mean, this dude's playing every game. He's playing big minutes. He's got a long injury history. He's super old. Is he going to make it the whole season? Maybe, but I would bet no. So yeah, give me the Spurs if I'm choosing either of these teams for a championship future, something like that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you here. So are you down? Are you low on the Rockets here? No Steven Adams, Tari Eason. What is he, questionable for tonight? So what you low on these guys?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to play Sengun against Wembanyama. That doesn't seem like a good spot for his offensive game. Amen Thompson would be the guy I'd consider. I think he could thrive here. It should be fairly fast. Yeah, actually 221 total, which is normal for Houston. But yeah, I don't love this game outside of, I do like Wembanyama. Thompson a little bit. Should be a really, really fun game to watch, but DFS wise, I think one of the least interesting games on the slate.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of feel that way. I mean, Steven Adams has been playing a good chunk of minutes, but I think if Tari Eason comes back, he could kind of just take those minutes. Remember, he's missed, I think, like 5 games now or something like that. So, if he were to be out, maybe some minutes would open up for, I don't know, a Clint Capella, or maybe Reed Shepherd gets a bump in some of these minutes. But
you're not playing Clint Capella, JSU.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to think, like, who would the
Yeah.
minutes go to if he was out, because Steven Adams' role is pretty decent. Like, look, 24, 18, 25, 27 minutes. It's a good role right there. Obviously, though, like I said, Tari Eason back would kind of just take that whole role from him, so it wouldn't matter at that point. And I'm not playing Tari Eason at 6,400.
No.
I think Jabari Smith, even though he had a massive game last time out, that was against the Pelicans. This is a tougher spot. 6,500 seems like a lot. Amen Thompson, I think I want a different spot for someone like Amen Thompson here. So
yeah,
if I was playing someone, it would probably be like a Kevin Durant and hope he can make tough shots. I'm not a Kevin Durant guy. I don't play him that much, but and I think there's better studs to spend on here. So I'm kind of with you. I'm out on Houston. I think you could play Wemby though. I got no problem with Wemby. Castle to me at 6,900. It's kind of a tough spot for him too, but the price tag's not bad at 6,900. Like, I could kind of get on board. My only issue with Castle is I think with Wemby's kind of ascendance going back up with the minutes DC and the shots going up, it kind of takes away from his offensive game a little bit, from like the ceiling of his offensive game, I think. So
I think, I'm with you 100%. I think Wemby is very clearly the best play from this game. And
yes,
yeah, you can mix in the other guys a little bit if you're playing a lot of teams, but I don't see anyone else in this game that I would plug in a line, as we sit here.
Can we play Dylan Harper at 4K? Is Dylan Harper like 4? I'm just trying to see if there's like any value. Could we play a Dylan Harper at 4K?
You can, but he's going to get ownership. He's the highest owned guy in this game.
No, he's 13%. That's not bad. But...
No, not bad. But this game's low owned for a reason. I'm not sure I want what I view as like a pretty fragile piece in Dylan Harper when he's the most popular player in the whole game. That doesn't seem like the best place to go. But yeah, I think he's fine at 4K. I do.
Yeah. So I guess Wemby and him would be like the only two guys I would even, I think, look at on this slate. All right, let's go to maybe a better game here in Minnesota, in Utah. Here, Minnesota looking pretty healthy now. Anthony Edwards, Randall, all good to go here. And on the Utah side, we still got, I think, some news here, right? Or no, Marketing is out. I guess he won't play.
Marketing, Sensabaugh, Love are all out.
All out. Okay, so we got all that news now. I mean, Utah's got to be a decent. This game's in Utah. What are we doing with the Utah side, DC?
Yeah, highest total on the slate, sitting at around 240. Minnesota playing really good ball right now. Up, favored by 14 in this game. And we did get
14 on the road. in Utah, the NBA.
But Utah, one of those teams we're talking about, I mean, they're just blatantly tanking right now. Like, these guys aren't actually hurt for the most part, that they're sitting out.
You want to know why, DC? Because when all these guys play, they're pretty good. They're not good enough to, like, win in the playoffs or something like that, but they're good enough to make your team mediocre to the point where you might not get the best chance at the top draft pick. That's why they're doing it. They're forcing the tank because they know if they just play their whole team normal, they'll actually win more games than they want.
100%. And, the rules need to be changed for sure. Yeah. But I would do the same thing if I was Utah. Find out what you got in Keontae George. Let him just kind of take over. So,
this Nurk shit is for the birds. I'll tell you that. The whole thing with Nurk about like, is he going to play? Is he going to start? Blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit right there.
I
That's
did
ridiculous.
I did the first game I got off it. I saw it in the Discord.
Yeah.
But the second game I did take a 0 from Nurkic. Missed it. Was it the same thing? Did we?
Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So guys, if Nurk's not in that starting lineup, I just wouldn't play him. Like that's the way I.
Yeah. Learned my lesson on the second go around with Nurkic there.
I caught it both times, but there were still people like in the Discord like asking me, and
yeah.
I'm like I'm not playing him if he's not starting. Like I refuse to do it. Like I won't do it. And like last game he started. He played 26 minutes and he was good. You know, he was good. What do you have? 36, 38 fantasy points. Like he's good. If Nurk plays, he's a good fantasy point per minute guy. You know, that he's solid.
Yeah.
Tough matchup though for him.
100%. I don't think I'm playing Nurk at 7,400 against Rudy Gobert. We did get news. Naz Reid is going to play in this game. My initial research this morning, I kind of assumed he would miss because he played just the 5 minutes and left with the shoulder injury. Usually, when a player leaves in game with a real injury, they'll miss a couple games, but not the case. Naz Reid going to be back in there, which kind of sucks because I did want to play Timberwolves here. You still can. I still like Anthony Edwards quite a bit. Gobert, I mean, with a total of 240 and Minnesota favored by 14, if you just kind of assume those numbers are accurate, it's a lot of missed shots for the Jazz, right? Because we're expecting a pace-up game. They're going to have to force up. I mean, it could be a huge Gobert rebound game. So I do like that prop a little bit. Gobert, though, 6,600, I think he's just okay. I think Edwards is my favorite play in this game. I've talked a lot about targeting the Utah backcourt. Horrific defensively. Keontae George, for all his offensive talent, really, really bad defender. Collier, kind of the same thing. They're playing a bunch of rookies at the wings, essentially all rookies or second-year players. So it does feel like a really good Anthony Edwards spot. DiVincenzo too, but just a little pricey, I think. At 6,700 with no injuries, it's hard to click DiVincenzo. So almost by like process of elimination, I think it leaves Anthony Edwards as the best play for Minnesota. But, so far we've talked about Maxey, Harden, right? Wembanyama, now Edwards. Like it seems like a lot of my favorite players are expensive. So you're going to have to choose between these guys. Give me Harden over Edwards if I'm choosing between the two. Definitely wouldn't mind playing both if there's enough value. And then the Utah side, I think George has his upside intact here at 8,100. Risky, right? Because obviously 14-point spread, blowout risk. But if Utah does keep it close and this game does get to or close to that 240 total, I got to imagine Keontae George has a big, big role in that. So especially, maybe a Keontae George Edwards stack, I think would make sense on a team or two.
Yeah. So first off, I agree with the Minnesota side with your kind of assessment of them, which is just like Anthony Edwards. I think Rudy Gobert is a really good play though, because Utah will go on like big droughts where they're fast paced, but they're missing shots and stuff. I could see a big rebound.
You could see like an 8 rebound first shift for Gobert, something
like Rudy Gobert's rebounding prop probably isn't high enough. You know what I mean? He's probably going to get 15 boards on in this game. But yeah, so I could see him, having a decent game here. He is 6,600, which kind of sucks. He's, I wish he was like 6K on the dot. And then obviously Anthony Edwards. I do also think like Naz Reid is kind of a little expensive, but I could see him off the bench just like smashing. Utah's defense in general is just
horrible.
Bad. It's really, really bad. And now you pull off Markkanen and Sensabaugh. It's just like it's not going to get much better, DC. So I could see one of those bigs kind of having a big game here. And probably be lower owned, or at least like Naz Reid will definitely be lower.
Listen,
owned.
I mean,
Naz Reid there will be too.
Yeah, Naz Reid's going to be up against Nurkic and Filipowski. he's a 3-point gunner a little bit, Naz Reid. I don't think either of those guys are getting out to contest.
Nurkic is going to be in drop coverage the entire game.
Yeah.
He's not chasing those guys.
Filipowski too. I mean, I think Naz Reid is able to get off his 3-point shots. You know, when you have games where he's shooting 6 or 7 3-pointers, I could see that easily coming to fruition here. So I like the Naz Reid call. I wouldn't play him with Gobert, but yeah.
No.
And actually, Naz Reid probably the one with more upside, right? Because he can get hot from 3.
I think
yeah.
I think like Rudy Gobert is the guy who probably gets you like the cool 35 double,
way
type
better floor
play.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Naz Reid could get you like 40 plus though. If he's just hitting shot. I probably like Naz Reid 3-point prop too. Like a Naz Reid 3-point prop.
Gobert rebounds and Naz Reid 3-pointers.
Yeah. Something like that. Get a little combo there.
Yeah.
And then who knows? Maybe you take on the other side, you take like Keontae George for like 30 plus points and hope he just kind of keeps it close and they kind of go back and forth, something like that. That'd be fun. Someone was saying with no Kevin Love, no Sensabaugh, no marketing, maybe a Kyle Anderson value play here. The one thing I worry about with Kyle Anderson, because they've been specific about when they choose to play him, because he doesn't play every night. It'll be interesting, DC, because I'm kind of worried he doesn't play on this slate. Like he doesn't get on the floor, but I wonder what if we get Nurkic not starting on this game? Because if we get that, DC, then I think Kyle Anderson plays. So right now, I probably have no interest in slow-mo because I'm very uncertain of him playing. But if we somehow get that Yusuf Nurkic is not starting, I think that's telling you Kyle Anderson's going to play and Yusuf Nurkic won't play. And if that's the case, then I think he is a good play. We already
have Markkanen, Love, and Sensabaugh out as well. So I think if Nurkic is out, Kyle Anderson would make a lot of sense. I'll wait, though, for the Nurkic sitting on the bench.
Me too.
Picking his ass before I jump on the Kyle Anderson. But I agree with you. If that does happen, and he's been playing decent minutes. When he does play JSU, it's typically 20, 25 minutes and a big role in the offense, frankly. So, I like that call, but I agree with you. Would need him either in the starting lineup, which I don't think is going to happen unless maybe Nurkic sits, or the presumption that Nurkic isn't going to play because he's not in the starting lineup, which who knows with the Jazz, but, we got a pattern of 2 games now where that's happened. So could easily happen tonight too.
It could definitely happen tonight. All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's go to the late games here, the 10 o'clock games. You don't normally see these on the old main slate, but we got 3 of them here. We'll start with the Lakers in Denver in this spot, and I've been liking going with these Denver games. DC, I've been liking kind of playing these Denver games. Jamal Murray's obviously been awesome. No Jokic. He finally had like a bad game, but when he has a bad game, DC, it wasn't even that he had a bad game. Like the team had a bad game and they got blown out. It's like that's going to happen at times. But outside of that one game, I mean, he's putting up 62, 42, 60, 61, 58, 56. Like this is a 6 streak right now. He's going. Here's just another guard play that you could play on this slate if you wanted to spend up against the Laker team with also still no Austin Reeves. So you got Luka Doncic at 11-5. But honestly, Luka, even though his ceiling is still up there with the top guys, he's been kind of giving you similar stuff to these 9K guards that we've been talking about, like Tyrese with no Embiid, Harden with no Kawhi, Jamal Murray with no Jokic. I mean, I don't know about you, DC, but I'd kind of prefer, even in a good matchup like this, I'd kind of prefer those guys for 1,500 to 1,800 less.
I'm the same way. I want to get 2 of those guys, right? I really like Jamal Murray. We'll talk about him in a second, or I will. And Harden, Maxey. But if you play Luka, it's pretty tough to get another 10K guy or close to 10K guy in there with him. So probably not playing Luka here. don't think he's a bad player. People that were planning on playing him need to move off him or anything like that. Just I think there are better builds available on this slate. Other Lakers guys, I mean, I don't know. Are you playing LeBron? Is he just stuck at 9K? He's moved a little bit.
Yeah, he's just stuck at 9K.
Yeah, he seems fine. Decent chance at 45 to 50. I do like him better than Devin Booker, some of those other 9K guys. But it's weird to say, but LeBron's he's like a last guy in for me on most slates, right?
Dude, that's the exact way I feel about him. But you know what? It might be I might just be biased to it. I might just be biased.
You are a known LeBron hater, but I think he's fine.
Oh, stop, DC. You are totally a LeBron hater. I could tell. I could tell.
How can you not? Like LeBron. How can you not be a LeBron hater?
I'm on shows with Big T all the time, and that dude slobs LeBron every chance you get. I can tell when people slob LeBron or they don't say anything about him. That means they don't like him. If you don't say anything good about LeBron, then that means you don't like him. Because majority of the people, they'll just talk like LeBron is God, and they call him king for whatever reason. And it's like, okay, I know you love LeBron. Okay, if you call anyone king, then you just love them. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you love LeBron. That's fine. DC does not love LeBron. He doesn't talk good about LeBron ever. He never wants to play him. He just said he was a last piece in at 9K in a good matchup too, by the way. Like, you're not a LeBron guy. Don't lie.
I'm not a LeBron guy. You're right.
That's right.
Yeah. You nailed it all. So I don't really have a rebuttal. You're right.
I know. I'm just saying. I could just tell it. I mean, okay, King James is a good nickname. All right, fine. That's fine. That's fine. You like the nickname. I like Flop Queen. I'm good with that too. Mayday, Flop Queen. I'm cool with Flop Queen James. That flows. Marquee Sports here, bro. I got you. You want Bailey? You don't need to super chat us here. Honestly, when you said it the first time and I saw Bailey,
what the fuck is super chat? Is that something I've been missing here? Is there a super chat?
I think it's like when you like give money to like the YouTube people or stuff like that.
Well,
we don't have that at Run Pure Sports.
You can't try that. My DMs are open if you want to.
But you got to spell it correctly, bro. That's not how you spell Bailey. That's why I was getting confused. I was like, in my head, I was like, who the hell is Bailey? The first time he said it, DC, I was like, who the hell is Bailey? But you can go to a different show. But honestly, that's what happened. But see you later. You could go to a different show. That's right, Steph. Takedown season. Love that. Love that. So, okay, back to we'll stop shit talking LeBron for a little bit, get people upset. Here, we don't need the softies getting upset, DC. Actually, I don't mind it. You can get upset. Yeah. I'm not the only Laker that I can't believe I'm looking at right now that I want to play. And maybe you can talk me off the boat, but DeAndre Ayton's been really, really good the last couple games. And I do like this spot for him here. DeAndre Ayton's one of those guys, like, I feel like you got to play him when he's kind of on. And right now he seems to be on, because at times I feel like he's just checked out. And a lot of times with Ayton, you can just tell like effort's not there. And it's honestly like you watch him play, you can tell in the first run if you're going to be happy about DeAndre Ayton or if you're going to be really sad at the end of the night. Because he's one of those players, like, you can just see it. You can tell when he's giving effort and when he's not. I think right now, from what I've seen, he's been given a little more effort, and you can see it. And he's a little more into the game plan, probably because he's a little more involved. I think they've been making it a point to get him more involved. And double-digit rebounds, 3 of his last 4 games, DC. I like that, his minutes right up in the 30 range, his last 3 games, 31, 32, 33, double-double in 3 of 4. Really good from the field, but a lot of those shots are, close to the basket and everything like that. But, double-double, 6,200 against Denver. There's no real offensive threat, to go back at him with the Denver bigs. Honestly, I feel like it's a good matchup.
I can't argue with the matchup for Ayton. Makes sense to me. Has any player like changed less in, I don't know, 10 years of coming into the league than DeAndre Ayton? I feel like he's the exact same player that he's been all along, which.
Yeah, he is. He's super talented, but he doesn't care half the time. He's the
Yeah.
exact same player.
It doesn't make him a bad play at 6,200 tonight, but it's one of the reasons we don't talk about him, right? Because he's just the exact same dude that he's been for the last decade. But yeah, I do agree. Actually, I think he potentially the best play on the Lakers. Both of us kind of off the Luka and lukewarm on the LeBron train. Didn't talk about the Nuggets yet, though. I really like Jamal Murray here. I know the rough game last time out, but honestly, JSU, that the fact they got blown out, in the 25-minute slower Jamal Murray game, it like further solidifies the theory that he is the offense, right? Everything runs through Jamal Murray because look what happens when he has a slower game. They get blown out at home by Charlotte. I certainly don't expect that to happen here. Classic bounce back spot, right? Back at home against the Lakers. To me, this feels like a Jamal Murray game. And the Lakers, like Luka, Gabe, I guess I could throw Marcus Smart on him, but I think this is a great Jamal Murray spot. I do like Harden a little bit better, but I think it's close between the two. I'd love to play both guys. I rank them Harden, Murray, and Maxey in that order, but I think all three guys are good plays. And one of the reasons I don't like Luka is because those guys are all, I think, in phenomenal spots. And I'd like to play two of them if I can. So in on Jamal Murray. Peyton Watson has been, he had a slower game last time too, but he's been awesome. But man, 7,600 is getting up there for Watson. He's
had a couple bad games, so he still has the upside though. He's just had a couple bad games. He's finally come back down to earth a little bit.
It does look like Gordon, Hardaway are going to be in here, so they won't be super shorthanded. But I think the Nuggets win this game. I think they, only favored by 2.5. I think they play well, and I think it's Jamal Murray that leads the way. So he's the biggest piece I want from this game.
What about Aaron Gordon? Because he was really good last game out. Almost had a triple double. I think he missed with the points. He was really close to a triple double.
8 points. Yep.
Yeah. And we know he's got that type of game where he can be asked to do more at times. He does have that type of game in him. 6,700 on DraftKings. I kind of like Aaron Gordon too. I think he's good. I agree with your Jamal Murray take, but I think if you're looking at like these mid-tier plays, I like Aaron Gordon too. I like Aaron Gordon and DeAndre Ayton.
My only problem with Aaron Gordon is he's going to have a really difficult defensive matchup the whole game against either LeBron or Luka. Both of guys.
But LeBron's a little older now.
Yeah, I don't think it's not. Yeah,
I don't think it's as hard. I think he's going to be asked to guard Ayton a little bit too, at times, which he can do. By the way, he's totally fine being able to do something like that because Ayton, he's a finesse big. He's not like a big that's going to absolutely dominate. He's not going to give Aaron Gordon issues from that standpoint because that's not the type of big he is. You know what I mean? But
I like Gordon. I have no problem with that. Murray 1, Gordon 2. Any other, like, Denver's just so thin on the wing right now.
Tim Hardaway, if he's in, he's probable.
Yeah.
We play Tim Hardaway against the Lakers.
I could see that. I could see a lot of wide open threes against this Lakers team. But yeah, Murray and Gordon, the main two I'm looking at from Denver.
Yeah, they priced up everyone. We're not getting too many like great values right now.
So I was like, Strother is interesting, but less so at Pickett.
Strother. They hate Strother.
Pickett is who I meant at 5,500, but it's just a little too pricey, I think, for Jordan Pickett. So leaves mostly Murray and Gordon for me.
I was wondering this too. Why in the world is he power forward eligible? What are we doing here, DraftKings?
The DraftKings positions are all over the place for a lot of the NBA.
Can we just get back to when guys had one position, unless they were just power forward center? Like, can we just do that? Like just one position.
I think it would be better if every player just had one position.
That would be better. I agree. It would be better because I don't get how you decide that Tim Hardaway is small forward, power forward, but then LeBron James is just power forward.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't get how it's one. I don't get how Luka is just or Jamal is just point guard. Point guard, shooting guard. Like we're giving Bruce Brown point guard, shooting guard eligibility. Like what?
Yeah,
It's weird. It's weird how they do.
I could rant for a while about this, but I'll save it. Hashtag DK partner.
That's right. Hashtag DK partner. Okay, let's move. DC, you can fit Murray, Maxey, and Harden. Who the hell is your value, Corey?
Yeah, I saw that comment too, and I was like,
yeah, who's the value?
I'm not sure.
You're going to be pulling value out of your ass, man. I mean, maybe you found it, but
listen, I'll try to build it right now on the show and see what I come up with. But I don't see that being a viable path, personally.
Well, because Javier asked the question: if you play 2 spend ups, do you think you have enough good cheap to kind of get up there? The honest answer is, I hope by the end of the night we do fall into some value, Javier. Because right now, the way it looks, it's going to be tough to get the value to get the 2 spend ups, let alone 3. But maybe we can find some here. We still have 2 more late games to kind of roll through, but hopefully we get a little more news as the slate kind of breaks up here. We're only 4:00, just past 4:00 Eastern time here. So still a couple hours till the first game locks. Maybe we get some extra news that,
you got Iguodaro potentially at 3,300. Maybe a Kyle Anderson at 3,800. Maybe you could get there.
Just listen to the guys you're talking about right now. We got Kyle Anderson, who could play, and he also could DMP, and Oso Iguodaware or whatever his name is. Ooh, we're rolling with the value tonight. Miami and Sacramento next up here on the slate. DC, Miami coming off of a game last night, back end of a back-to-back here. Bam Adebayo I don't know if you played him last night, DC. I don't know if you watched the game. It was a tough watch if you played Bam Adebayo. 26 minutes. They got killed too, but 26 minutes, 4 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and shot 1 for 13 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. It was a brutal night if you played Bam Adebayo. And guess what? Hand up. I played Bam Adebayo last night.
I was going to say, it sounds like you played Bam Adebayo.
I played Bam Adebayo last night. That's why it was a horrible night. What are we doing here, DC, with this Miami team?
Well, it's a nice bounce back spot for Bam Adebayo. So there you go. Get back on the train. Good matchup. Sacramento is just horrendous. I do like JSU when your initial take, what's Sacramento doing with Westbrook, DeRozan, Levine, Monk, Schroeder, just a horrific roster construction. And it is kind of fun when it goes down in flames exactly like you expected it to, because there's just no way that roster construction is going to work out.
Yeah.
So, Sacramento.
It's like all the castaways. They all came to Sacramento.
Yeah. Just horrendous.
Well, Russell Westbrook's been awesome.
Yes. But I just don't play much Sacramento because somehow all these guys stay healthy too. And they got 6 guards, and now they got Sabonis back. So I'm off Sacramento here. It is a good game environment. 238 total, Miami by 3.5. No Tyler Hero. I think the Miami side is definitely more interesting. Khalil Ware, questionable. I do like Bam tonight. I didn't play him last night, so I don't have the regrets that you do. So maybe I can go to Bam here. Powell, Wiggins, I think are pretty good plays too. The Heat to me seem like most of their guys are pretty solid, right? I think you could make a case for Bam, for Powell, for Wiggins, for Jaquez. What's David Mitchell's price? Maybe even him, 4,700. Just because the matchup is just so good here against Sacramento. So the harder part for me I do want pieces from Sacramento. It's just harder from Miami rather, against Sacramento. But I kind of think they're all tiered the same in terms of, point per dollar production. So probably limiting to 1 or 2 heat, I think makes a lot of sense against Sacramento. Probably not going too far beyond that. And like I mentioned, I'm off the Kings here. Just everybody healthy. They need 2 basketballs. If the Kings had, if we could play games with 2 basketballs, I'd be in on the Kings, but not the case. In maybe they'll change when they move it to 60 games. Maybe we'll get a 2 basketball league, and then I can play DeRozan and Levine on the same team. But until then, JSU, no thanks on Sacramento.
Yeah, I do notice this here. Christie does seem to like Cardwell. He plays no matter what. Yeah, he had a nice game last time too. And Sabonis, they're still trying to be a little careful with him. What has he played? 2 games now? 21 and 20 minutes. If that kind of sticks, maybe Cardwell's a decent value here, even in a tough spot. I mean, it's not the greatest spot for him, but he's 3,500. If he plays like 20 minutes, I don't think he's a terrible shout as a value play here.
What have they been doing? I haven't seen the last couple of Kings games since the bonus returns. I mean, Raynaud's playing too, right? So they have 3 centers.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much they've been playing all these guys for the most part a decent bit here, but Raynaud is what is he 4,500? Cardwell's 3,500. So I'd rather not play the 4,500.
Looks like they're playing. I know he's only center eligible, but it looks like Cardwell's not really playing center.
Yeah, because Cardwell plays the 4.
Yeah, okay. That's what I missed.
Because they're still playing another guy they're still playing is Precious, like Chat's saying. They're still playing Precious, the non-Precious minutes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't hate that play, honestly, at 3,500. I agree with DC. This game does seem interesting. It's probably more interesting on the Miami side, though. Oh, man, Andrew Wiggins, 5,700 seems like a decent value play. I like Hawkes at 55 again. I think he's got 35 plus point upside. And yeah, I mean, DC, you're right. Like, honestly, I should just go back to Bam. He was bad last game, but he just had a really off night. I mean, still 12 rebounds. He just couldn't hit a shot.
He shot 1 for 13. I mean, it is what it is. It just happens.
He played 26 minutes. Yeah. They got blown out. You're right. You're totally right. Now they're on the road against Sacramento. Maybe Sacramento can put up a fight. Bam plays his full minutes and doesn't shoot 1 for 13. I think you might.
What about the spot for Hawkes? I mean, the defense from the Kings guards and wings, but Hawkes has that like crafty game, right? It's a lot of like kind of like controlled, slow drives to the hoop. Against Monk, Schroeder, DeRozan, Levine, right? I mean, this is a pretty good.
He's in a really good spot.
And then Sabonis can't defend the rim really. I
like Hawkes. I think he's in a good spot. The Fontecchio thing. I think if he is 3,300, I think if the game is closer though, that's going to hurt him. Now, if this game is like a blowout, I think that helps him. So if you think the game blows out, which it could, then yeah, maybe he's like a large field value play. Like if you're 150ing, I think you could leave him.
Or it's like your only piece from this game, hoping for a blowout. Yeah.
Right. Hoping for a blowout. Or like you could play one Miami guy with him, like one starter with him. Yep. But yeah. I don't hate it. But I think if you're playing like multiple pieces or like Bam, it's probably not as good of a play. But yeah, 150, I think you could play a little bit of him here. I
wouldn't play him with any of the other Miami wings though. All right. Like
who?
Fontecchio. I would want him without Powell, Wiggins, and Hawkes kind of playing the blowout script.
Yeah. Play the blowout script. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. Let's see. Any Luka value is so yeah. Air Mitch. I don't have any Luka, and I don't know if I'm going to get to Luka with, like I said with DC. We were talking about it just a few minutes ago. The 9K guards are so good on this slate. Harden without Kawhi, Jamal Murray still without Jokic, and a bunch of other guys. You got Tyrese Maxey with no Embiid. It's just like I kind of rather just save 15 to 1800 and go to those guys, over Luka. So it's a good spot for Luka. I like attacking Denver. But maybe if I was attacking Denver, maybe I'd rather just play a LeBron if I had to play one of the two studs, and save 2,500. And, if LeBron gets 50, it's like, that's going to be a decent score, 50 plus. That's a decent score at 9K. You know what I mean? And maybe he gets you a little bit more in this spot. So yeah, I don't think it's a slate where spending 11.5 is the way to go. But again, we still have a while. Who knows? Maybe the slate opens up a little bit. Let's go to the last game here, DC, on the slate, and we got Golden State here. Tough spot for them, I guess, after last night where, Steph Curry was good. It went well. They won the game, DC, but kind of lost in a way, right? With the Jimmy Butler injury, tearing his ACL, all done for the year. That kind of sucks. That's a big blow to the team and to their Steph's hopes of anything probably in the postseason here. Yeah. It is a back end of a back-to-back for Steph Curry. He only played 28 minutes last night, which is the good thing. We know Steve Kerr, though, is very careful with, guys like Steph and everything like that. 8,800, though, does seem pretty cheap on DraftKings, DC. Toronto's been a tough matchup, though. I will say Toronto's been fierce on the ball defensively, but I will say a lot of that, I think, has to do with this guy named Colin Murray-Boyles, who is a major weapon for them, especially on defense, because he can switch. You can switch him out against just about anybody, and he'll D up. Even the guards, even the best guard on the opposite team. He's a really good defender. He's a weapon when they have him, because that's not something you normally get out of your starting center, is someone who can kind of, you can leave him on an island with the other team's best ball handler or scorer on the wing or whatever, and he'll be okay. And he is, honestly, he'll give some of these guys, he was giving Jaylen Brown some issues at times in their game against Boston. But he's out. So I do think that hurts their defense ever so slightly. Now they do have quickly Ingram, Barnes in, no RJ Barrett still, Podol's out still, Jacoby Walters still out. So it's a team that's kind of thin. And then you got Golden State, who also, they lose Jimmy Butler, Draymond. What is he? I know he missed yesterday and he's questionable. So we'll see on him. He's 5,800 here. Melton's off the injury report, so at least Melton will be back, and then we'll see what happens with Al Horford. Oh, no, Al Horford won't play. So we got that news. He is out. So we do have some guys out. No Jimmy, no Al. We'll see on Draymond. D'Anthony Melton is back. What are we doing here with Golden State? Because I'm sure people are going to want to try these values from Golden State, even though, Kerr, we got to be careful.
Got to be careful with Steve Kerr. Absolutely. Moody. I think Golden State's got some of the better values on Pods, 4,300, very high on the point per dollar list per Saber here. Mamu, I assume you're on the Mamu train, JSU. It's kind of got to play him. Don't have to play him, but I think a really good play at 5,400. I do like Buddy Hield as well, just at the low price point. And again, we do like some of those, especially those spend up point guards, can fit those guys a little bit better with someone like Buddy. So could end up there. Warriors, man, they're in a tough spot right now. They like a line. They gave it like a 2-year go. They gave Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph all 2-year contracts prior to this year. Now it's like they have no chance, right, in the Western Conference without Jimmy. I don't think. And then next year, he's 36 years old. He's probably gonna miss at least half of next season as well. So trade deadline coming up in 2 weeks. Will be interesting to see which direction Golden State goes. For tonight, I think if I'm playing Steph, I'm playing Pods with him. Maybe Draymond if he's in, right? I kind of think it's kind of an all hands on deck if they're going to compete.
Feels like Draymond would play, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If Draymond sits, I think I'm just mostly out. Well, definitely out on Steph in that case. And then I would just go to the Golden State bench guys, right? Hoping for, not predicting a blowout in this game, but shit does happen. Toronto playing pretty good ball. I think they got the third or fourth best defensive efficiency rating in the entire league. And I just don't like Steph as much as Maxey, Murray, and Harden. So I don't think I'm going to get to him. I know he's a little bit cheaper, but I still way prefer those guys with the tough defensive matchup from Toronto. So, yeah, I think mostly the cheap values from Golden State, Pods, Moody, and Buddy Hield in particular. Maybe a Quentin Post in there as well if you would need a cheap center. Toronto side, I think, is a little more interesting. I do like Brandon Ingram a little bit here. I think he's got a really good matchup. Quickly and Barnes seems fine too. Toronto's a tough team. They play a very slow pace, kind of rely on good defense. It just doesn't seem like you see a ton of ceiling games from these guys overall compared to what you'd expect from their price point. So not my favorite game on this slate, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not the best game, I don't think either. I do like Mamu. I do worry though about him.
Mamu looks like an awesome play, but other than
he
him,
does. I do worry about him though, chasing around Steph Curry off screens and stuff like that. Like I think they're going to put him in a lot of, and this is what I'm talking about with the downgrade from Colin Murray Boyles to Sandro on the defensive end is definitely massive for this matchup right here. And I wonder, does Toronto just decide to go small at one point in this matchup to defend the 3-point line? I think it's possible they could do something like that. They have the players to do it if they want to do it. So, that's just something that kind of worries me a little bit. I could see one of like Scotty Barnes or Ingram having a good game. So I don't mind those guys. And then Mamu, those are like the three Raptors I think you could play. I do like Steph, though. I think Steph's in a good spot. Like I said, defensively, without the kind of bigs to, hedge out and kind of stop him on the pick and roll. I think he's going to have a good game. I think Pods at 4,300 is one of the best values. I don't even understand the price. How is he 4,300 on the? How do you go down? Like how do you go from 5K last night to 4,300? I don't get it.
I don't know, but I'm probably clicking the Pods button tonight. I think he's going to be in my lineup.
And I'm also, I like Moses Moody again. I think Moses Moody at 4,100 is a decent play here. He's been pretty good or solid, at least 4,100 for him. I do think D'Anthony Melton in there kind of hurts those guys a little bit because he does shoot a lot when he's out there. Double-digit shots in like 6 of his last 7 games here. He'll fire from 3. He's a solid overall player. He's not seeing more than just a little over 20 minutes probably, but 4,800. Honestly, I wish he was like 4,100 because I'd probably click the button here. I think if you're playing a ton of lineups, though, you could.
This feels like a game, JSU, where Kerr plays literally everybody on the roster in the first half of the game.
I'm worried that's what he does too. Yeah. I'm worried. What if we see Trace Jackson Davis
or Kuminga? I know he's in the trade.
Yeah, or Kuminga. What? No way. No way we see Kuminga after everything. There's just no way.
But it was all before the Jimmy Butler injury, which has changed everything for the Warriors. So this would feel to me like a spot where Kerr goes full terrorist mode.
Yeah. No, see, this is the stuff too. Hobbs is onto it. Don't sleep on Guy Santos starting for Jimmy. This is the shit that Steve Kerr does. Don't be shocked if they have Richard and Guy Santos starting tonight. It's
a 7-game slate with a lot of good plays. I'm gonna try to shy away from the Warriors where I can. I think Pods
I'm playing Pods. That's the one guy I'm definitely playing.
Give me the cheap guys. Give me Pods.
Honestly,
Buddy.
if Draymond's in, I'm gonna play Draymond too. I think
Can see that.
if Draymond's in. Now, if Draymond's out, though, I'll tell you 100%. Like, if Draymond's out, like, everyone and their mother's going to play post, but I can almost guarantee you if Draymond's ruled out, Trace Jackson Davis is going to play. He's going to get minutes.
You know, Curtis sitting there right now somewhere waiting to.
Oh, dude.
Waiting to get these dust balls in the game. You absolutely know it.
Oh, did Richard get downgraded to Q? I didn't see that.
He did.
Okay.
And Santos is questionable too.
At least rule someone else out. Give me a little less of a heart attack. If he's ruled out, then I'll definitely like a Moody, a Healed, or a Melton. I don't know if I'd play them together because I'm gonna play Pods, but I could play one of them probably.
Seems like a good showdown game. Play the Toronto Studs and all the Golden State scrubs.
Yeah, and just hope you get this. Of course, you want to fade Curry. Of course, your idea is play all the good Toronto guys, fade Steph Curry, and play all the scrubs from Golden State.
Not playing sniffles. No thanks.
Santos is cute too. Yeah, I saw that. We'll see. Hopefully those guys are all out because I guess it gives Kerr. That's the thing though with Steve Kerr and this Golden State team. Like even if those guys were to somehow get ruled out, they'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They'd still have 11 guys. And Steve Kerr will find a way to play them all like 23 minutes.
They'll all be in the first quarter.
Yeah, all of them. It would just be annoying. But
I'll do a 6 versus 5 man line change at the halfway point.
Yeah, literally a friggin' hockey line change. We'll go 5 and 5. Well, all right, that's it. That's all 7 games here, DC. Let's get our anti-plays in here. And then if you guys could smash the like button on the video, check us out, runpuresports.com for all your DFS and sports betting needs over on DraftKings. We got you guys covered. All right, DC, anti-play. Who you got here? Someone who's high owned.
Well, I'll just take the highest owned guy on the board because I don't think Walter Clayton Jr. should be 41% owned. That seems a little aggressive, does it not? I don't think we even mentioned him when we discussed that game. So
it seems a little aggressive to me.
I'll take. I don't think he's going to be 42% owned, and I don't really know why he's projected to be that high, but that's what you want for the anti-play of the game. So
I think that just shows you how limited in value we are. Honestly.
But there you go. There you go, Walter Clayton Jr.
All right. That's a good one here. Who do I want to go with here? Well, I talked about Naz Reid and I talked about Rudy Gobert. So you know what? I'm going to give Julius Randle. I mean, he's also in a good matchup too, but 22% seems a little high with everyone in and healthy.
Andrew Wiggins was just sitting there for you as the 4th highest owned player on the board, and you passed him up.
I thought it was honestly it was between him and Wiggins. I swear to God, it was. So yeah, I will dude's been balling. Yeah, he can be balling, but I'm telling you, the slate is dictating that ownership right there. So Walter Clayton, 3,700. He has been good, honestly. I do think he is good, but we'll see. They do have a few guys out, so we'll see on that. DC. All right, how about your play of the day? Who's the guy you're clicking? He's first in your lineup, no matter what.
I think I'm rolling with James Harden tonight, JSU. Great match. What's that?
I did not think you were going James Harden.
Yeah, he's in the lineup. No Kawhi Leonard, good matchup in Chicago. The floor is just so high with him, and the ceiling he's proven it's there still, even in his twilight of his career. So I'll go James Harden as the play of the day.
All right, nice. Man, who do I want to go with here? I got two guards in mind.
I'm changing it to Jaime Jaquez. I love this matchup against the Sacramento Wings. So there you go. Harden.
There you go. That's a good one right there. I like that you changed it to him. That's more of a
Yeah.
That's more of a DC play. Now, I totally thought you were going with Jamal Murray. That's who I thought you were going with. I was like, for sure, too, you were going to say Jamal Murray. I thought that was.
I'm hoping he's in my lineup as well. So you're right. I do like Jamal quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say him, honestly, after we talked through the whole slate and everything like that. Honestly, I'm gonna play Jamal Murray, so I'm giving Jamal Murray. Screw it. I love that game. That's one of my favorite games to target here. Denver and the Lakers. I like a bunch of plays in that game. I do want to load up. If we don't get value, I mean, I could just load up. I could just game stack a game, and then just fill in the pieces from there. So I'll give Jamal as my play of the day there. So we got Jaime Jaquez and Jamal Murray plays of the day. Do we think Harden went to Chicago T Club last night, Slappy? Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
Probably.
Jamal owns the Lakers. That's right. Hobbs knows. He knows. He's ready to roll. All right, DC, that's going to do it here. We're going to get all the content up, like I said, over at runpuresports.com for the playbook, core plays, Discord, all that stuff like that. Check it out if you guys haven't checked it out. And we'll be back tomorrow. Good luck in your DraftKings DFS for tonight's 7-game slate. For DC, I'm JSU. We're out of here. Peace.